Hey everybody, I'm Seth Beckett, resident loudmouth at the rAVe agency. I'm here talking about launch week a little bit, and in case you live under a rock and don't know what that is our new kind of landing page for us to have manufacturers come introduce new products, but also a place for all AV tweeps to connect with others and kind of have a virtual place where they can all do that, which is kind of really important in the kind of world we're living in right now. And I'm joined right now by Paul Richards, Chief Streaming Officer at PTZOptics. How are you?
Hi, Steph. I'm doing great.
So you are our Tech Talk host for House of Worship Day. Um, so you're kind of like a great person to have for that. So tell everyone a little bit about how you got into the industry.
Sure. My name's Paul Richards, and as Steph said, I'm the Chief Streaming Officer at PTZ Optics, and I've been in the industry for about 10 years. And after working with thousands of houses of worship, helping them set up their live streamings, being involved with my own local church, I decided to write a book called Helping Your Church Live Stream. And I wrote this in the beginning of 2019, and it's become a great resource for volunteers and pastors who want to increase not just digital donations, but really the outreach of their church to the local community, whether it's shut-ins, whether it's senior living centers, whether it's folks who are traveling who can't make it to church that Sunday. And since the release of that book, thousands and thousands of churches have read it. I have a free online course that goes with it, and I actually have 30,000 students who take those online courses on Udemy. And it's been so rewarding to give back. And we actually offer this book completely for free. So it really has gotten out to a lot of pastors and volunteers. And I've got tons of feedback from them about why they're live streaming. And right now, as you know, it's incredibly important. And so that past couple months have just been an incredible time in this world. And I'm really excited to be someone who has a book and who can really speak to churches and who are trying to set up live streaming systems.
Right. How are you tying our current world climate into speaking about your book during House of Worship Day? Like, what is important about people joining live rather than just reading your book?
Well, originally when I wrote the book, I was thinking this is a great way for churches to reach out to the youth, a great way to maybe get some digital donations that weren't coming in. But before COVID-19, that really wasn't the main reason why churches were live streaming. Churches just wanted to stay connected with folks who maybe supported the church their whole lives and now are at a senior living center and just can't make it. And that was the real driving force behind setting up a live streaming system, maybe recording a video for a wedding and giving that to the folks who are getting married or baptism. But today what has happened is it became the difference between, hey, maybe we should do that later, to right now we need to do this. Because with large gatherings being banned across the United States and most of the world, churches really had to quickly find a new way to communicate. And whether that was launching a Zoom conference and letting the pastor do his service online, or whether it was streaming to YouTube and Facebook, I've been able to give this book for free. We've actually, as a company, actually started shipping the book to anyone who wants it. And we've shipped out thousands of copies. And we're getting this information to folks who really have never even touched streaming gear, have never learned how to do audio visual. And of course, they're working with audiovisual integrators to help them. But it's been a really super fast, hit the ground running, get this as quickly as we can. Every church in the United States has a sign saying service is online.
Yeah.
So it's been a massive, quick shift and transition. And luckily, I already had an online course available that anyone could take. The book has been available. And so that's really a backdrop to the learning that I'll be talking about at the House of Worship Day, so that when we do talk about building a scalable worship streaming system, which is the topic for my talk, end users and integrators can know that they have access to the book and to an online course where they can learn more, because we only have 45 minutes during the webinar, but I'm sure we'll pack it full of valuable advice.
Right. And what is one important thing that you want people to walk away from your tech talk having learned?
Well, I think the most important thing to note for any house of worship is something is better than nothing. So if you're using a phone, it's okay. I have literally seen pictures of churches who have a iPhone propped up with a roll of toilet paper. And I think that's funny because toilet paper is such a rare commodity these days.
Yeah. I was
You
like,
know,
first
you
of all, where did they get the toilet paper and is there any left?
I know, right? And that's what everyone's thinking. Like they're not even looking at the phone; they're looking at the toilet paper. But I've seen everything from that, and what integrators and folks who are helping houses of worship need to understand that this is a good thing. Everybody gets started somewhere, and what we're going to do in the talk is talk about the transition from where are you? You know, there are churches who have 10 cameras and 5 camera operators, an executive producer, an audio guy, and all of that, and then there are churches who have an iPhone being propped up with the roll of toilet paper. So, where is a church in that space? And how can integrators and how can everyone involved, whether you're a media tech person or a volunteer, kind of understand where the church is? You know, it starts with a sound system, and they start thinking about projectors and screens, capturing the worship presentation, then streaming it, then maybe having displays in a cry room or a lobby or a nursery. So there's a natural evolution of audiovisual technology that is integrated into houses of worship. And the takeaway is to give people a better perspective of where is their specific church on in like the digital technology deployment strategy, and what's the best place for them to start, because you don't want to skip a step. You know, don't start streaming and not have an audio system, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me and giving me a little snippet of what we can hear from you during launch week. If you want to hear the full tech talk, definitely reserve your spot for House of Worship Day during launch week. We've got a limited amount of space, so definitely go ahead and do it now, and I'll include that link at the end of this video. But Paul, thanks so much for joining me.
My pleasure. Thanks for interviewing me today, Steph.
Looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye, guys.